Hello, and welcome to Higher Ground Gaming. This is Eric. My co-host Mr. Brody is here, and we're going to bring to you tonight a wrap-up, kind of like the end of month of June summary. So we're currently on July 1st, so we played games up through June 30th, and we just want to do a comparison of the actual season to the replay, our replay here using Strat-o-matic baseball, also compared to the team stats and some individual player stats too. Not every player, but we'll try to highlight some key things and league leaders, stuff like that. So as you can see in the actual season, if you look to the left here, this is from Baseball Reference. The Red Sox were 52-23, 8 games ahead of Milwaukee. So far in the replay, they're not faring as well. They're 7 games behind that pace with a 45-30 record. 2 games behind Milwaukee. So they're definitely a lot behind. The end of the month of June, as you'll see when we go over the, as you can see here actually. Let's see if it's right here. It's not right here, but it's in one of the. We'll get to it, but we'll show you. Oh yeah, here it is down here. If we look down here in the middle chart here, in the month of June, the Red Sox were 12-13, so they were under 500. April 12-8. May, as we went over in the last summary at the end of May, 21-9, excellent month. But then June, they went under 500, at 12-13. Can't remember exactly what they were in June, but they definitely fared better than they did so far. In our replay. So anyway, so Milwaukee pretty much is 3 games ahead of their pace. 47 wins at this point, and they only had 44. The Yankees exactly at their record in the actual season, 43-32 in both the replay and the actual season. Let's see here. Next would be Baltimore at 41-35. Baltimore is exactly where they were. Detroit 36-38. Detroit is actually 5 games behind their pace. Toronto actually is 8 games behind their last place. They're 18-36, They were 26-48 in the actual season. And Cleveland, kind of the surprise, is 41-33, 6 games ahead of their pace. So the Yankees and Baltimore exactly. Everybody else is either a little ahead or a little behind. I think the Red Sox are actually the most behind. Actually, Toronto's most behind. They're 8 games. But still in last place. But the Red Sox are in second place instead of first. Oh yeah, and you can see right here, actually, I didn't even have to do this. I keep forgetting they show the actual to date right here. So you can compare them right here. Kansas City, but we'll compare some other stuff possibly from the actual season. This is good for actually comparing the runs scored and everything at this point. So let's see here. Kansas City is 42-32, but this actually shows the place is better. So Kansas City is 4 games ahead of their pace. California is 3 games ahead of their pace, as they're both tied. But Kansas City's percentage points ahead. Texas is actually 2 games ahead of their pace. White Sox are 3 games ahead of their pace, so most of the AL West is doing well. I think except for Oakland. Oakland is going to be behind, I think. Minnesota, 5 games ahead of their pace. Seattle is actually 3 games ahead of their pace. And Oakland, probably the worst, is 9 games behind their pace in last place. So that's interesting. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see if we can look at here. Alright, let's look at this right now on this right chart here. Let's look at the Red Sox overall record. Overall, they're 45-30. Home record 20, still very good, 25-6-14. 20 and 16 on the road, which isn't bad, but definitely not as good as they were. Against lefty starters, 12 and 7. Against righty starters, 33 and 23. Extra inning games are 5 and 5. One-run games, 11 and 8. And last 10 games, 2 and 8. So they're currently on a 2-game losing streak. The longest winning streak is 6 games. Longest losing streak, 4 games. Only shut out once. And they've scored over 10 runs 9 times. The most runs they've scored is 4. They did that 15 times. For opponents, they do have 5 shutouts. And opponents scored over 10 5 times. Mostly in the 2 and 3 range here. Versus the East, the Red Sox are 2 and 7 against Baltimore. Everybody else, they have a winning record except for the Yankees. They're 2 and 3. The Toronto Blue Jays, which they should, they're 7 and 0 against the Blue Jays. Milwaukee 3 and 2. Detroit 5 and 3. Against the West, overall not bad, except for the Royals, they're 1 and 3 against. Everybody else they have a winning record against. So 23 and 17 against the East and 22 and 13 against the West. Let's see here. Let's look at some leaders, I guess. Let's see, primary. Alright, for the Red Sox, let's see. Carlton Fisk, well, Duffy is just a bench player, but Carlton Fisk leads with 331 average. 11 homers and 43 runs batted, so he's ahead of his pace. 280-something hitter for the year. Jim Rice, right about where he should be, 327. 25 homers and 67 runs batted. Actually, a little bit ahead of his pace. Homer-wise, he's on a pace to hit 50. Jerry Remy, 296 with a homer and 22 runs batted. And Butch Hobson's actually ahead of his pace. He was a 250 hitter. 286 with 8 homers and 32 runs batted in. Fred Lynn about where he should be. A little bit ahead of his home run pace. 286 with 15 homers and 52 runs batted in. Montgomery, okay. Rick Burleson, 279 with a homer and 30 runs batted in. Stremski, 273 with 7 homers and 33 runs batted in. Dwight Evans, 267. 12 homers and 39 runs batted in. Bernie Cabo, 266. George Scott, 260. I think he hit 235 around for the season. With 7 homers and 21 runs batted in. Pitching, let's take a look at the pitching here. Oops. What did I do? So pitching-wise, let's see. Bill Campbell, 2 and 1, 142. So the bullpen overall hasn't been too bad, other than Stanley. Stanley's been, which we kind of expected, he's been very erratic. More hits than innings pitched. A few blown saves. Bill Campbell's been good. Drago overall has been good. Eckersley has done well. He's 10 and 5, and Torres 10 and 1. Both the ERAs under 3. Bill Lee has been a bit of a disappointment so far. 2 and 5 record with 3.86. Jim Wright about what he did. Louis Tiant's had a rough beginning. He was actually, I think, 7 and 1 at this point, like a 4-point-something ERA. So he's behind his pace. So hopefully he'll pick it up. Alan Ripley's been absolutely horrible. Definitely the worst pitcher on the team. Bergmeyer, behind his pace. He has not been good really either. Overall, the team's 3.97 ERA. Overall isn't that bad. Team hitting 289 collectively as a team with 88 home runs. Okay. Nothing really that exciting to see here. Lefty righty splits if you want to take a look at those. Bob Bailey. No, he's only got 3 against righties. A 154. Frank Duffy, excellent against the lefties. Gotta remember that. Fred Lynn, awful against lefties. Jerry Remy, not too bad, 258. Carlton Fisk, 345 against lefties. Jim Rice only hitting 209 against lefties. That's kind of surprising. He's got most of his power again. He's only hit 4 home runs off of lefties. 21 against the righties. Fisk 320. Fisk overall, a very good season so far. Butch Hobson, great against the righties, 304. Jim Rice, 372 against righties, excellent. See if anything sticks out. Ripley, horrible. Opponents have it 427 lefties are hitting off of him, and 356 against righties. Stanley, awful, too, up over 300. Tiant, also awful, 300, 302. Bill Campbell, excellent against lefties, as you would expect. Eckersley, 180 against righties. Excellent, excellent. Torres, 222, also very good. Jim Wright, horrible against righties, 355. Check out those if you like. Sabermetric. Fielding, here we go. Let's see. Where's our Butch Hobson? Butch Hobson. 20 errors already. Not even halfway through the season, he's got 20 errors. I think that leads to all the majors. We'll check that out in a minute. Traditional fielding. Oops, hold on. Team detail. Again, you can pause this if you like. Just the line scores here. Usage. Gonna keep an eye on some of this, like Burleson's really high up there. Yastrzemski, gonna need to rest him so we don't go too much over the usage. I usually like to keep it within 5%, like 105 at the highest. So some of these are a little high. We don't use that. Comparison there. Okay, actually replay. This might be interesting. So I think this is after 75 games. Let's just see if there's anything that stands out here. Rick Burleson, about 30 points ahead of his pace. Rice about 12 points ahead. Remy fairly close. Yastrzemski right on. Fisk way ahead of his point. He's like 47 points ahead of his pace. Lynn 12 points under. Very close though. George Scott 27 points ahead there. Evans 20 points ahead there. Hobson 36 points ahead of where he was. Brohammer 46 actually. Frank Duffy way ahead of his pace. Almost 100.95 points. Bob Bailey about even worse than he was. Gary Hancock, I don't think he was even on the roster yet. Montgomery, a little bit, 45 points ahead of him. So overall, the hitting is really good. Now here's where Tom Bergmeyer over a run worse in the replay. Bill Campbell much better, over 2 runs, 2.46 runs ahead. So Campbell having a great year so far. Jarego ahead of his pace, about 0.6 of a run. Eckersley right on. Bill Lee, actually not that far behind his ERA, 40.4. Bob Stanley, over almost a run worse. Tiant, yeah, 2 runs worse actually. I didn't realize it was that much. 2 runs, so Tiant much worse. Torres almost a full run ahead of his pace. That's good. So starting pitching hasn't overall been too bad. Jim Wright behind that. Ellen Ripley, he's almost doubling it. These guys haven't. I don't think are on the roster yet. So that's interesting. That comparison's kind of interesting. Let's see if there's anything else that sticks out here. So doubles. I don't know if these are full season ones or not. You know, it looks like it says after 75 games, so I'm guessing that's probably not. Although now these are for the full season, so this is kind of misleading because I think Rice did hit 15 triples, but it's interesting to see for comparison's sake. So I guess you could go almost half of what this is, maybe a half plus a little bit. So if they're a little less than half, he's ahead of his pace here. Remy, Burleson ahead of his, Rice ahead of his, Yastrzemski about where he should be. Fisk a little bit ahead of his. He's definitely ahead of his. About right for Scott. A little bit behind on Evans. A little bit ahead for Hobson. Yeah, a little bit behind for Brohammer. Triples, yeah. Okay, home runs, here we go. So Rice, yeah, about where he should be, I guess. Maybe a little ahead. Yastrzemski a little behind. Fisk, yeah, about right. Maybe a little ahead. Lynn definitely ahead of his pace. He's on a pace to hit 30. Scott ahead, a little bit ahead of his pace. Evans about right. Hobson about right. Rice on a pace to get over 150. Strikeouts. Evans pretty high too. Hobson about right. All right, let's take a look at the pitching. The wins. Yeah, Grizzlies on a good pace. Torres is actually ahead of his pace. He's on a pace to potentially win 20. Both Eckersley and Torres. Tiant definitely behind him, space by quite a bit. Saves. Actually, Stanley's got more saves than he did for the actual whole season. You can just take a look at the rest of those if you like. So that's kind of interesting. Alright, I don't think there's anything else on here. I can close that up, I guess. Alright, let's look at some more maybe over here. Here we go, league leaders. Alright, so at the end of June here, we have Amos Otis leading the league from the Royals with 380 clip. Rod Carew 368, Al Oliver 344. There's Carlton Fisk 4th in the league. Jim Rice is 7th in the league at 327. Runs scored, Don Baylor at 62. Jim Rice 53 second. Fisk 50. So Fisk is having a really good year too. Yastrzemski very good too. 49. So 3 in the top 10 there. Top 8. Rice leads the league in hits by 10 over Burleson. Wow. Rice, Burleson, and Fisk top 3 in hits. Remy 7th. So Red Sox have 4 of the top 10 there in hits. Doubles. Rick Burleson. And Fisk and Burleson top 10 there. Burleson 3rd in triples. And Burleson's actually quietly having a great year too. Oops. Home runs. Rice 3 ahead of Thomas. Don Baylor 3rd. Fred Lynn 15. And Dwight Evans sneaking up from the rear. Rice had in RBIs by 7 over Larry Heisel and Richie Zisk. Tom Baylor 4th. Fred Lynn 6th in RBIs. Walks, Yastrzemski at 37. Intentional walks, Rod Carew with 12. Yeah, Rice and Gary Alexander for Cleveland tied. Dwight Evans close behind there in strikeouts. Wow, Red Sox have a lot in the strikeouts. Hobson, that's no surprise. Hit by pitch. Okay. Sacrifice hits. Stolen bases anywhere near there. Grounded to double plays. Fred Lynn third. Greg Nettles leads the league. Hitting streak. Any current hitting 15 game hitting streak for Lemon, Zisk, 14 for Nettles. Lupinell with the longest streak of the season, 21. Pinch hit average. Yeah, Bernie Carbo, who they traded away. 267 pinch hit average. Good for 5th in the league. All right, slugging. Jim Rice second behind. Gorman Thomas almost 60 points ahead of him. Fred Lynn in the top 10. And Fisk over 500. On base percentage, Carlton Fisk 395. Jim Rice 393. Amos Otis leads the league 471. Followed by Rod Carew. Not really any surprises. Runs created, Amos Otis 12.9. Rice 9.7. Fisk 7.9. Total average, Rice third of Amos Otis and Gorman Thomas behind them. Rice leads in total base. I believe he had over 400 total bases, which was the most, I think, since, I want to say, like Babe Ruth. I know it goes back a ways. He had the most total bases, like 406 or 4 something. Can't remember exactly, but most in a long time. Fisk actually pretty high up there, 146. Fred Lynn, 141. Yeah, versus lefties. Surprisingly, Rice is not even on there. Reggie Jackson leads with a 419 average. Cecil Cooper. Larry Parrish home runs versus lefties. Yastrzemski actually has... Wow, that's kind of a surprising stat. I think he's only got like 7 on the year, and he's got 6 of them against lefties. That's surprising with Yastrzemski, since he is a lefty. Jim Rice, yeah. Batting average versus righties, 372. Amos Otis leads with 391. Followed by Billy Smith. That's a surprise right there. Reggie Jackson. Rod Carew. Home runs versus Rice has 21 home runs versus righties. Alright, here we go. The fielding percentage. Nobody here. I don't think George Scott had enough checks here, because he would platoon with Yastrzemski, I think, sometimes. So Remy's second in the league. That's not bad with range percentage here. Butch Hobson, an awful 316 range check percentage without getting an error. That's real low. That's over 100 points lower than the next guy. Wow. That's horrible. Belanger, no surprise there. Burleson, you have neck and neck. Bucky Bleepin Dent right there, third. These are all one range guy. I think Dent might be a 2. No, I can't remember if Dent's a 2 or a 1. But anyway, I know Belanger and Burleson are both 1s. Fred Lynn, 1, yeah, that's no surprise. No error, 100%, yeah. Rick Manny, I think, is a 1 also. Catcher, Fisk, 4th. Mark Martinez leads for Milwaukee with 960. Here we go. Hobson, errors, 20. 3 ahead of Wayne Gross and Burt Campaneris. So Hobson leads the league in errors. Shocking. Carlton Fisk, opponent steals. That's, wow, 40 opponent steals. That's not good at all. Thought he was better than that. Opponent stolen base percentage. Yeah, he's over 6, so he's over 650, so not even in the top 12. Parrish and Alexander. Alright, league leaders. Wins, here we go. Pitching stats now. Eckersley and Torres with 10, 2 behind Splitshorf, and Caldwell from Milwaukee with 11. McGregor, Baltimore, 10. Guidry with 10. He would lead the league. So Guidry's having a little bit subpar. His ERA is right there, but he hasn't got as much run support so far. So his record is a bit behind there. Don Ossie with 9. Losses, wow. Winning percentage, Torres 909. I think he's 10-1. Eckersley is like 10-4, I think. 10-3, 10-4. Caldwell 150. Okay, we Guidry got second in the league with the area 1.73. Eckersley 288. Not bad. About where he should be. Innings pitched. Eckersley 128. Flanagan leads with 153, followed by Jim Palmer. All Orioles guys here, no surprise there. Total batters faced, Flanagan and Martinez and Palmer. Games pitched. Bob Stanley 34. Bergmeyer 29. Games started. Flanagan, Martinez, and Palmer. All workhorses. Complete games. Eckersley has 8, while Caldwell and Guidry both have 13. Jim Palmer 11. Eckersley with 8. Torres with 6. Games finished. We'll have Stanley 24. LaRoche 28. Hello. Saves. Third in the league. Stanley. LaRoche number 1. LaRoche from California perfect in save. 15 for 15. Stanley not even close. 733. That's pretty bad. 4 shutouts for Palmer. 2 shutouts for Eckersley and Torres. Caldwell with 4 also. Hits allowed. No Red Sox on there. That's good. Runs. Not on there either. That's good. Earned runs. Nothing on there. Home runs allowed. Here we go. Eckersley, 15 home runs. I think a lot of those were solo shots, though. So, walks. None on there. That's good. Strikeouts. Yeah, none really on there either. Wild pitches. Nolan Ryan with 9. Joe Coleman at 8. Box, Tanana, and 5. Opponent steals. A lot against Torres, 14. Wow, Rick Weiss, 24. Jim Clancy, 19. And Ken Kravec with 19. Hits per 9 innings. I think Eckersley is on this one. Yeah, 7.59. Very good. Guidry still leads the league in that, which is not surprised. And Jim Palmer and Caldwell. Guidry with less than 6 hits in every 9 innings. Excellent. Walks per 9 innings. Jenkins leads the league with only 1.23. Eckersley 2.04. Nolan Ryan K's per 9 innings 10.47. Wow. 3 runs ahead of Ron Guidry. He's second. Tiant's on here. 5.83. Home runs per 9 innings. Nobody on the good side here. While Larry Gurr only 0.24, tied with Jim Palmer. And Doyle Alexander, excellent. Jim Clancy there. Opponent's batting average against. Guidry, wow, 176 overall. Eckersley, pretty good at 225. Lefty opponent average against. No, Red Sox against. Guidry only 114 against lefties, wow. Kravec 115 and Caldwell 119. Righties. Eckersley dominant against righties 180. But Jenkins 132. Wow. Let's see. Run support. Yeah, Torres has got the most run support, 6.31. That's he's 10-1. Eckersley's pretty high, 5.44. And hitter runners scored. Surprised Stanley is not on this one. Oh, these are good. That's why. Yeah, no, so I'm not surprised. Strikeouts over walks. Eckersley is on this, 2.21. Jenkins, 4.79. Wow, and Guidry second, 3.73. Matlack, Texas, 3.32. All right, so those are your league leaders. Team, let's see. Red Sox hitting 289, followed by Milwaukee with 285. Minnesota, Kansas City. Yankees, well, only 259. Home runs, Milwaukee first with 100. Red Sox are second with 88. First in RBIs. Last in stolen bases. Wow. Kansas City with 120 stolen bases. Red Sox only 5. And they've been caught 4 times. Ouch. 56 errors. Hobson has 20 of those. So you get rid of Hobson, and they're actually among the leaders in fact, they are the leader. If they get rid of Hobson, they would lead the league in errors. And the least errors. Wow. Team ERA, wow, Yankees. Yeah, powered by Guidry, 3.13 team ERA. Cleveland second. Wow, that's why Cleveland has done so well. Their pitching has really been good. Surprisingly good. Baltimore third, 3.21. Red Sox are middle of the pack here, 3.97. Not overall, not too bad. A little high, but strikeouts, 334. Opponent average 274. That's a bit high right there. The New York Yankees only hitting 243 against them. Yeah, that's pretty high though. 274. It's toward the bottom. The league average is 265, so it's above the league average. A lot of walks too. Well, not too bad actually as a team. Home runs surrendered, 74. That's pretty high. In fact, that's very high. It's next to last. Detroit's the only one behind him, I think. A lot of that's Ripley and bullpen there, too. Actually, Eckersley has 15 home runs, too. So a lot of unearned runs here, too, caused by a lot of those errors. 28 unearned runs. Actually, well, not as bad as Oakland, though. 43 unearned runs. Actually, that isn't bad, though, 28. Wow. Yeah, a lot of teams are a lot higher. So defense overall with Hobson has been pretty good. Alright. Again, I'm not going to really stop on this, but if you'd like to do it, you can stop it. Fielding, here we go, as a team. 981 fielding percentage. Which again is amongst the leaders. A lot of them in the are in the 70s. 975 to 979. A little bit higher than that, but not too bad. I mean, higher than that, but which is better. And the ones ahead of them are Detroit, Baltimore. Looks like the Yankees lead with a 987. So yeah, only 3 teams ahead of them. Only 3 pass balls. Alright. Manager profiles. Yeah, very little stolen bases. Board game breakdown. No, we're not using really any injuries. So, well, there were regular injuries, though. Let's see. They call them the bean counters here, even though I changed them around here. They still come out as bean counters here. So, Hancock, LaRose, Sproul, and Hobson. Hobson? I don't remember him being on the DL, but I guess he was. Well, maybe that's coming up. Oh, in minors. So maybe he was in the minors for a little bit. Line scores, nothing exciting there. Newspaper game stories. Awards voting. So this is kind of interesting this to watch. MVP so far, Jim Rice, way ahead. Fred Lynn and Carlton Fisk on there too, wow. Cy Young, Ron Guidry still leads. Mike Torres, pretty high up there. Well, 5th. All-Stars, let's see. The Red Sox have Fisk, Remy, Rice. It's 3 of them. And a pitcher for 5. So 5 All-Stars there. Yankees with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also. Runners up. Burleson, 1, 2, Lynn. So a couple Gold Gloves. Hobson, no. Fisk with wow, Fisk surprising with a Gold Glove. I guess it doesn't include
throwing out base stealers. Must be just errors and range and stuff. So Gold Gloves, Fisk and Lynn and Evans. No surprise there in Burleson. So wow, possibility of 4 Gold Gloves. Runner-up Remy. Yankees have 1, 2 there with Chambliss and Randolph, with the runners-up of Nettles. Buddy Bell beating out Nettles right now. Silver Sluggers, Fisk, Rice, with runners-up at Burleson and Lynn. Fireman of the... Wow, Stanley's still got 23 votes. Must be an awful year. LaRoche, yeah, 15 for 15, perfect save. Don Stanhouse, we've seen him. Manager of the year, Don Zimmer's 3rd. Bamberger, yep, because they're ahead of the Red Sox now. Hopefully Red Sox will pull ahead, so that's kind of interesting to watch. Record book, longest games. So far, 18 innings between Texas and New York. We're on the list. We played a 13-inning game. Oh, and a 15-inning game. Most runs by one team. Oh, not even in the top here. Although Detroit scored 16 against us. Most hits. No, we're not on the top there. Although Seattle scored 20, had 20 hits against us. Most runs, both teams. Yeah, are Detroit 25. Detroit, we play Detroit. Most hits, both teams. Yeah, the Seattle game, 21. 37. And the Detroit one, too, with 34. At-bats, okay. Hits. See if we have any leaders in here. Strikeouts. Carbo had 4 strikeouts in a game. Right here. Home runs. 6, twice. Rico Cardi had 3 home runs on 6 too, that's right. South Rico Cardi. Runs scored. No, we didn't have any guys in there. RBIs, 9, Larry Heisel, wow. Must have been the one he hit 5 home runs. No, it wasn't. Oh, that wasn't him, that was Rico Cardi. I mean, 3 home runs, Rico Cardi. Not Larry Heisel. Stolen bases, 5 for Willie Wilson. Outs recorded. There's not really any leaders here. You can stop if you like. Wow. Nolan Ryan, 12 walks in a game. 14 strikeouts in a game. Different dates, of course. Oh. Home runs allowed, 5, Doc Ellis did. There we go, Alan Ripley. Here we go. He made the list here. 4 home runs in 4 innings. This is by far the worst performance. Oh, actually, Holtzman was pretty bad, too. Wow. Game score highest. The best game here was 95. No Red Sox on here, are there? No. Okay, that's a record book there. So tons of stats here. And I think that's probably going to be about it. So I want to see if there's anything else on here that's interesting to check out. And player stats, maybe? Oh, these are just the individual players here. I'm not sure exactly what this is. Oh, so you can look at each batter too. That's kind of cool. Let's look at a guy that plays more. You can see what they've done, batting different parts of the lineup, batting. Let's look at a Red Sox guy just to get some. Let's look at, like, say, wonder why only these guys are here. That's interesting. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So there's a lot of different stats you can check out with Strat-o-matic, which is cool.
Well, all right. So let's bring up the standings again. So there we go. It's going on 45 minutes. We're at 46 minutes. So yeah. So that is it. Pretty much through the end of. Let's see if I can find here. Let me see if I can find quickly. See how the Red Sox fared in the month of June here. Let's see if I can find it. 1978. Let's see if we can get a breakdown here. Schedule results. Oh, here we go. These are the regular stats for the year. Here we go. This is what we wanted right here. So let's see. Let's look at this breakdown once again here, finally. Yeah, we're going to want this over here. Oops. Team stats here. Alright, so let's bring this out again. So in the month of April, the Red Sox were 11-9 in the actual season. They were... Where was it? I gotta find out where it was now. Maybe that was on the... Oh no, here. I know we had it here before. Oh, here it was, I think. Here we go. Here we go. Somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. Here we go. Alright, so the Red Sox were 11-9 in April. And they were 12-8 in April. So pretty close there, one game ahead. In May, in the actual season, they were 23-7. 21-9 in the replay, so pretty close there. Now here we go. June, 12-13 in my replay, and they were 18-7. So 6 games behind. They lost 6 games there. So we can improve in July, as they were only 13-15 in July. So hopefully we can improve there, make up some of those games that we lost there. That would be nice. In August they were really good in August, 19-10. And then September is where they fell, 14-15. In October, of course, they lost that game there against the playoff game. So the first half they're 57-26, second half 42-38. But yeah, okay, so the months is what we want to kind of look at here. So definitely we lost ground in the month of June. So hopefully we'll get that back in the month of July. If we can go, a few games above 500, that would be good. Get some of those games back. So all right, so thank you for joining me. It's been Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, my co-host Mr. Brody, joining you for the June recap of the 1978 season. So I'll take a look at this, and pretty soon, when we hit the All-Star break, hopefully Al and I, depending upon where Al is, and I haven't seen him play any 78 games, so I think he's probably waiting for me to get there. But I'll try to do that in the next week or two. Try to play some more games. So that's our summary at the end of June. So take care, God bless, and we will see you in the next game, which I believe is the final game. I think it's a Saturday. July 1st against the Baltimore Orioles, where they try to salvage a game. So take care and God bless. Bye-bye now.